When can you say that you already have a good life? Is it because you have reached your goals or became wealthy and famous person who enjoys pleasure and luxury in life? What is good and why do people seek for it? And most importantly, what is the ultimate end of human action and the purpose of human existence? Hello everyone, I am Nicole as Alberto, and today we are going to talk about one of the topics considering science, technology, and society, which is called the good life. It is a common idea that everyone is in pursuit of having a good life. We exert efforts in order to feel happy and contented, and we do that obliviously as we meet every stages of growing up. Like for example, the toddlers that spend so much time playing because that makes them happy, or the students doing their best to finish studying to have a better future, and even adults work hard to maintain a stable life. But my questions are, don't different people have different ideas about what a good life is? And if people construe the good life differently, if they have different desires, how there can be one right plan for living well? How can there be one final end that we all ought to seek? To answer these questions, one of the philosophers attempted to explain what the good is was Aristotle. Aristotle is an ancient Greek philosopher and scientist who is still considered as one of the greatest thinkers in politics, psychology, and ethics. He is known because his work spans from natural philosophy to logic and political theory. One of his most influential ethical treatises is the Nicomachean Ethics that was named after his son Nicomachus and was widely assumed as a later and improved version of Eudemian Ethics, which is his first treatise. In Nicomachean Ethics, Aristotle stated, "All human activities aim at some good, every art and human inquiry, and similarly every action and pursuit is thought to aim at some good, and for this reason, the good has been rightly declared as that which all things aim." Everywhere we see people seeking pleasure, wealth, and a good reputation, or simply they are moving towards whatever they presume as good. The good is expressed and manifested in many various ways for different persons and circumstances. The good life, however, is more than these countless expressions of what is good. It is characterized by happiness that springs from living well and doing well. The ancient Greeks called this concept of living well and doing well as eudaimonia. The word came from the Greek word eu, meaning good, and daimon, meaning spirit. Taken together, it generally refers to the good life, which is marked by happiness and excellence. It is a flourishing life filled with meaningful endeavors that empower the human person to be the best version of himself or herself. In addition, Aristotle's idea of what it means to live well has intrinsic value rather than an instrumental value. It isn't just a matter of how a person feels inside. It's also important that certain objective conditions be satisfied. For instance, for virtue, they must be morally virtuous. For health, they should enjoy good health and a reasonably long life. For prosperity, they should be affluent enough so that they don't need to work for a living doing something that they would not freely choose to do. For friendship, they must have a good friends because according to Aristotle, human beings are innately social and they should enjoy the respect of others. Aristotle doesn't think that fame or glory is necessary. In fact, a craving for fame can lead people astray. But ideally, a person's qualities and achievements will be recognized by others. And also, they need good luck. This is an example of Aristotle's common sense. Any life can be rendered unhappy by tragic loss or misfortune. And lastly, they must exercise their unique human abilities and capacities. The good life is one in which a person cultivates and exercises rational faculties. Indeed, living well or having a good life is not that easy because it's mostly advantageous to the fortunate people. That's why we think that the ideal circumstance is having the life that you would always wanted. Furthermore, according to Aristotle, happiness is the ultimate end of human action and the purpose of human existence, because this is the most complete good. It is that which people pursue for its own sake, like winning a competition you've been dreaming of, or even sneak at night to meet your friends. All this and more are pursued for the sake of happiness and occupies the place of the chief good for which humanity should aim. To be an ultimate end, an act must be self-sufficient and final, that which is always desirable in itself and never for the sake of something else. And so, Aristotle claims that nearly everyone would agree that happiness is the ultimate end which meets all these requirements. Another philosopher attempted to explain what the good life is was Amos Westacott. Westacott is a professor of philosophy at Alfred University in New York, where he has taught since 1996. He is the author of The Virtues of Our Vices, The Wisdom of Frugality, and co-author The Thinking Through Philosophy with Chris Horner. According to him, there are three ways by which we can understand a good life or living well. These are the moral life, life of pleasure, and fulfilled life. The first one is the moral life. One basic way in which we use the word good is to express moral approval. So when we say that someone is living well or that they have lived a good life, we may simply mean that they are a good person. Someone who is courageous, honest, trustworthy, kind, and other morally good behavior that has many important virtues and did not do it for its own sake or pleasure, but for the benefit of other people. This moral conception of the good life is also conceived by Socrates, Plato, and many religions. Socrates argues that a good man who has his eyes gouged out and is tortured to death is more fortunate than a corrupt person who has used his wealth and power dishonorably. In Plato's Republic, on the other hand, he claims that the morally good person enjoys a sort of inner harmony, whereas the wicked person, no matter how rich and powerful he may be, or how many pleasure he enjoys, is disharmonious, fundamentally at odds with himself and the world. Moreover, many religions conceive of the good life in moral terms as a life lived according to God's laws. A person who lives this way, obeying the commandments and performing the proper rituals, is pious, and in most religions, such piety will be rewarded.